Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. My friends, I was a huge Cartoon Network fan back in the day. I loved watching Tom and Jerry, the Looney Tunes, Two Stupid Dogs, and so on and so on. And yes, I did enjoy Toonami too, and there was also another channel called CNX. But today, I'm only going to be talking about Cartoon Network, or more specifically, the Cartoon Network bumpers, or even more specifically, the Cartoon Network bumpers that was from the UK. Now, when it comes to the UK, we did share a lot of bumpers from America, and sometimes they would get redubbed, or they would be made from scratch. So yeah, over here, we did get quite a few American bumpers. I mean, not all of them, but we did have quite a few. And of course, we had our own bumpers too. And I think we also had a few from Canada, I'm not really sure. I mean, I know our version of Dragon Ball Z was dubbed in Canada, but I'm not really sure about bumpers. Anyways, when it comes to Cartoon Network, the best part was always the cartoons. And you know what? To this day, I still love all those cartoons that I used to watch back in the day. The Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo, the Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Two Stupid Dogs, The Mask, What a Cartoon, Cow and Chicken, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, Scooby-Doo. I could go on forever and ever. But one of my other favourite things when it came to Cartoon Network was the bumpers. The bumpers, the promos, the ads, the idents, all those things that came between the shows were pretty fun. You had characters talking to each other, there was music segments, there was even phone-ins where you would talk to a character and they would give you questions saying that, okay, if you can answer this, you get a goodie bag or something. There was Ed, Edd and Eddy, there was Johnny Bravo, there was Blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and other phone-in characters. And you know what? Those guys were fun too. And you know the coming up next segment where it says, at 2 o'clock, it's Johnny Bravo, and at 3 o'clock, it's the Powerpuff Girls. You know, those things. And there would also be these special events where it's the Tom and Jerry Marathon, or Cartoon Network is going to the movies. Like, there was loads and loads of adverts and bumpers and promos and idents and so on that was on Cartoon Network. And you know what? They weren't a pain in the ass to watch, because I enjoyed all those too. All these bumpers and promos on Cartoon Network back in the day was fun, funny, and enjoyable to watch. And over the years, I could see that they were getting better and better with their bumpers and promos. We went from those cubes to Cartoon Network City, where characters would just interact with each other. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think before the Cartoon Network City came around, I think they were more creative before the Cartoon Network City came around. But that's not to say that I don't like the Cartoon Network City, because I really do. I really do like the Cartoon Network City. So yeah, I do love the Cartoon Network bumpers. And when I mean Cartoon Network bumpers, I'm talking about the UK versions that came out in 1993 all the way to 2007. And the reason why I say 2007 is because that's when Toonami stopped playing on Cartoon Network. And that was the year that I stopped watching Cartoon Network and Boomerang and all these cartoon channels all together. The only thing that kept on bringing me back was Toonami back in the day. And it was just sad to see it go. And you know what? I didn't understand why they would let a segment like Toonami go, because that's where all the cool cartoons was. And you would have thought that they would have wanted to keep Toonami around for cool cartoons. You know, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Static Shock, Samurai Jack, Justice League, and all those cool cartoons. But yeah, I guess nothing lasts forever. So yeah, I completely stopped watching Cartoon Network and all these cartoon channels altogether. Now, that's not to say that I would only be watching cartoons or only watching Toonami. I would go to Cartoon Network once in a while, but as soon as Toonami went, that was it, man. That was the end of my journey when it came to Cartoon Network, Boomerang, and all these cartoon channels. It was only the cool cartoons that kept on bringing me back. And also, Cartoon Network around 2006-2007 was changing. After 2007, Cartoon Network wasn't the same as it used to be, so I stopped watching it altogether. And then, years later, when I went to go and look on Cartoon Network to see if I can find anything for my nephew to watch, I'm telling you, all it was is Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans Go, Tom and Jerry, Tom and Jerry. The Cartoon Network lineup was awful, and the new Tom and Jerry cartoon was awful. Cartoon Network has gone downhill ever since Toonami left. But saying that, I will never forget the good times that Cartoon Network gave me back in the day with its cartoons and its bumpers and promos. They was just so much fun. And I just want to let you guys know, I did make 2 videos about how I want to try and find every single bumper that Cartoon Network, Boomerang, Toonami and CNX has ever made. So if you guys want to go and check out those videos, please do. There's more details in those videos. Now, when it comes to this video, I am going to be giving you guys my top 10 Cartoon Network promos and bumpers that was shown on Cartoon Network that I have found. Now, I would have made a top 20 or a top 50 bumpers and promos list from Cartoon Network, but the thing is, there was just so many of them that I can't remember all of them, which is why I started collecting them. And the ones that I can find, I upload them to another channel. And if you guys want me to give you a link to that channel to check out all the promos and bumpers, then I'll leave a link in the description box below to that channel. And it isn't just Cartoon Network bumpers, but there's also Toon Army, there's CNX, and I think there's a few Boomerang ones there. And I just want to let you guys know, by the time that this video's been released, there might have been more bumpers that has been uploaded to that channel. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because these are going to be the top 10 Cartoon Network bumpers that I saw in the UK that I found that I've uploaded to that other channel. And I just want to let you guys know something. When I've uploaded more Cartoon Network, Toon Army, CNX, Boomerang, promos and bumpers, I will make a part 2 top 10 Cartoon Network bumpers and promos that I've found and uploaded to that channel. And also, just to let you guys know, I will make a top 10 Toon Army, Boomerang and CNX video of bumpers that I found from those segments and channels. Okay, now that I've got all that out of the way, let's resume what I'm going to do. Now, I'm going to play a bumper from Cartoon Network, and then as soon as it's over, I'll give around a 1 minute talk as to why I like the promo. And so, let's resume to number 10.
Fiddle your Friday, you could be a winner. Phone the number on your screen and dial using your finger. Answer a question, state your name and pick from our top tune hits. And if your tune's selected, you may get to introduce it. You can also place your vote on the Cartoon Network website. So fiddle your Friday and you could win this TV and video combo. And there are 100 goodie bags for all you runners-up. Call now on 090 11 25 25 25. Go on, have a fiddle.
Oh man, that was fun. Fiddle Your Friday, to me, was just so catchy, and basically you had to phone in, and if your tune is selected, you can introduce it. And the other prizes was a TV VCR player, which is freaking laughable compared to what we have now. I mean, basically, VCR tapes are basically gone. I mean, if it was a DVD TV player, then you could still use it. And when it came to Fiddle Your Friday, there was a few more variations of the song, and this was only one of them. To me, Fiddle Your Friday was an enjoyable tune to listen to, and to be honest, I really wish I could get my hands on the other variations of Fiddle Your Friday. It's a fun little bumper promo thing. And so, let's move on to the next one.
Jabberjaw, Hanna-Barbera's magical talking shark, is at long last available as high-quality dinnerware. Hand-painted by South American tribesmen in a warehouse just outside of Norwich, the Jabberjaw plate collection captures the majesty of one of the masters of the ocean and comes in a limited edition of none. That's right, there aren't any. Order now and receive a free set of squiddly-diddly cutlery. The Jabberjaw plate collection costs just £9,999.99p, which you can pay in monthly installments for the rest of your life. So order now, and you'll soon be imagining the splendor of Jabberjaw, the shark, the legend, and now the high-quality ceramic dinnerware.
This bumper is a freaking riot. You can't get any British than this bumper. Now, back in the day, sometimes we would get ads where people would talk about all different sorts of things like plates, watches, coins, and there would be these people talking about these limited editions, saying, just for $19.99 you can buy this item, just like you saw with the Jabberjaw plates. I just love how serious and funny it is. It's a freaking parody of all those things that they try to sell you on TV. And you know what? They did it freaking awesome. I also like how he tells us the price and says you can pay it in installments for the rest of your life. And I love how he says, that's right, there aren't any. I mean, this bumper was a freaking masterpiece. Loads of laughs, love it. And so, let's move on to next one.
You gotta get in there.
Ah, there you are, my pretty. And where's your boyfriend?
Glad I don't have to do this for a living.
Oh, Gomez, isn't it wonderful?
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling.
I can't believe I'm getting the stamp ring. Hello!
Yeah, pretty boy.
There's something funny about that man.
Okay. Are you in a groovy mood? Out of sight.
What's all the hubbub about this place anyway?
Now, when it comes to this promo or bumper, to me, it just felt so relaxing. almost mellow in a way. And when you look at this bumper, you can see where they might have got the inspiration of making the Cartoon Network city. Now, I'm not saying that this bumper was the only one that inspired the Cartoon Network city, but it might have been one of the few videos that might have inspired the Cartoon Network city. And yeah, we all know that all these cartoons was edited in from their shows to this bumper. I think the most hilarious part is when Bugs Bunny is putting makeup on. I mean, that's just hilarious. Like I said, it's very mellow considering it's a disco. But yeah, one of the reasons I love it is because it's just mellow. And I also love the beginning of the bumper where we get to see the tunes in the shadows. Like I said, very mellow. And so let's move on to the next one. OMG, where do I begin with this one? Okay, technically it's not a bumper or a promo, but it's the opening to the Bugs and Daffy show. And yeah, it's obviously made by Cartoon Network. And you know what? The editing done for this opening feels like a talented YouTuber did this opening. You can tell they took the characters from certain episodes and edited them into this opening. But you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I really do love this opening to the Bugs and Daffy show. To me, I thought it was the perfect opening for the Looney Tunes. Yeah, I know it's called Bugs and Daffy, but at the time, Bugs and Daffy meant all of the Looney Tunes. And when it comes to the theme, it just feels so upbeat and happy. And it does sound a little bit Looney too. So yeah, whenever I heard this theme, I knew the Looney Tunes would be next. In fact, I think this is one of few openings that Cartoon Network has made for anything like the Looney Tunes. Because when it came to the Looney Tunes, they didn't really have an opening saying that, oh, here comes the Looney Tunes. But instead, Cartoon Network made one for the Looney Tunes, and it was called Bugs and Daffy. And you know what? They did a fantastic job with this opening. I love it. And so, let's move on to the next one.
Get on it.
Cartoon Network! Cartoon Network!
Groovy.
Man, now that there is what I would call a gorilla type sneeze.
All the entertainment, Mega Cat City needs.
Rock 'em all, I'll do a jig in my undies, Chief.
All the entertainment, Mega Cat City needs.
Would you prefer something peppier?
Scooby-Doo.
You crazy sicko!
You hear what I hear? A razzmatazz and a poop-poop-a-doo.
Cartoon Network!
So long, Barney Boy.
This is a cartoon explosion!
What?
Huh?
Where?
Cartoon Network!
Wowie, wow, double wowie. Let's set our feet on fire.
Cartoon Network! You're fired!
I'll get loose.
Right, Captain! Wedgie! Cartoon Network!
Buckle up for safety.
Okay, now this was the original Cartoon Network city. This was the prototype. This was the original that I think might have inspired the Cartoon Network city that came around years later. And you know what? Even though it doesn't all candle to the Cartoon Network city that came on later on, I just like how creative the setting is for the cartoon town. The model looks really neat. And again, they use clips from the shows and take characters out of their shows and just paste them in with some editing. I mean, today's standards, this wouldn't be all that impressive considering what we can do now. But back then when this came out, it was fun and creative. And to be honest, this is something that a YouTuber could do just by using some editing software at home. And you can create the Cartoon Network town just by using bits and bobs at home. You have to admit, it looks pretty good at the time. It's nowhere near as good as the Cartoon Network city, but I still love it. Okay, now let's move on to the next one.
Hello? What y'all doing? Just chilling, planning world domination. What's up? Who's there? Sir, pick up the phone. Right. Billy. Hey. Hello? What's up? What's up? Hold on. Hello? What's up? So, what y'all doing? Just chilling, planning world domination.
I'll tell you what's up, fellas. It's the Powerpuff Girls. Every day at 4 in the afternoon, only in the best place for cartoons, Cartoon Network.
Okay, now when it comes to this one, this bumper is actually based on something. Now, originally I thought this bumper was based off of, or was inspired by, the first Scary Movie. But actually, it's actually based off of a commercial called Budweiser. Yeah, after hearing that this bumper was inspired by Budweiser, yeah, you guys are probably turned off after when I said that. But saying that, I really do love this bumper. Now, most of the characters are taken from the show, but I think they had to recreate Fuzzy Lumpkins just for this bumper. And I thought the conversation between him and Mojo Jojo was funny. Just chillin', planning world domination. And the part when him says, what's up? Now, in the original, the guy says, nothing, just drinking some bud. And Ghostface says, nothing, just chillin', killing. And Mojo Jojo says, just chillin', planning world domination. I mean, that was really great, I like that. This was one of the many bumpers that I remembered back in the day. Whenever I think of Scary Movie, I always think of this bumper. Great stuff, I love it. And so, let's move on to the next one. Okay, to some of you who may not know, this bumper of Ed, Edd n Eddy is actually a parody of Ali G. Well, the opening to Ali G in the House. And even The Simpsons did a parody of this. And you know what? It works. Maybe it could have been a little bit longer, but saying that, it was great. And the best part is when they got those rings and they just hit the screen. But the thing is, I was actually introduced to this idea of what Ed, Edd n Eddy was doing before I watched Ali G and The Simpsons doing what Ed, Edd n Eddy was doing. So yeah, Cartoon Network did take a few ideas from other sources, and they did a parody of it in the bumpers, like the Budweiser with Mojo Jojo and Ali G with Ed, Edd n Eddy. And you know what? They freaking work. And also, Ed, Edd n Eddy was one of the most popular cartoons on Cartoon Network. So instead of having one person doing what Ali G was doing, there was three of them, Ed, Edd n Eddy. This is one of the best bumpers on Cartoon Network back in the day, around that time period. Okay, now let's move on to the next one.
From Tokyo.
Johnny Bravo's in Japan with that weird little alien man.
I got Mount Fuji stuck to my foot.
The weather updates will be a killer because they're brought to you by Godzilla. There's games and prizes and hokey pokey and Johnny and Brack sing karaoke. Tune FM from Tokyo, live till 5 all next week. Don't miss it. It's going to be funny.
I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my favourite bumpers on Cartoon Network, or promo. I believe it was called JBVO over in the States, I think. And basically what this segment was about in the UK was that you can phone in and either ask for a cartoon, or you can answer a few questions and you'll gain some prizes. And there would be banter with Brack and Johnny. And you wanna know something? Even though Johnny is portrayed as an idiot within the show, well, his show, Johnny Bravo, I actually do like him with a much more serious tone. And as we all know, Johnny Bravo is the biggest simp in cartoon history. But when it comes to Toon FM, I just freaking love this guy. Like, he's got so much confidence, and he's fun, and he's funny. I just freaking love it. And I think over in the States, he would phone call some cartoon characters, or he would have them on his show or something. I'm not really sure. But another thing what I like about Toon FM is that this came out around the time when anime was getting popular thanks to Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and so on and so on. And apparently all this took place within Tokyo. And I just love the narrator singing, Johnny Bravo's in Japan with that weird little alien man. I mean, heck, at the bottom of the Cartoon Network sign, it says, we're turning Japanese. So I'm so glad there was given some homage to Japan and anime. And on a side note, there's actually this other bumper that I'm looking for, and it had the same narrator that was in this bumper promo. You know, the Johnny Bravo's in Japan with that weird little alien man. Well, he also narrated a bumper that says, this October, Cartoon Network is turning Japanese. And he would list a few shows, like Tinchi in Tokyo and new episodes of Ed, Edd n Eddy, and I think there was one more. And that one is one of my favourite bumpers. If you guys know where I can find that, please let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, this was a classic bumper and I really, really love it. In fact, I think Johnny was my favourite character that was doing these sort of things. Yeah, we had Ed, Edd n Eddy, we had Blue, we had Skatoony, but Johnny Bravo will always be my favourite. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. And so, let's move on to the next one. Okay, now when it comes to this bumper, I'm gonna have to talk over it because it has a copyright song and YouTube would demonetize me if I was to show it on my channel. So this is what I'll do. I'll leave a link in the description box below to this video so you guys can listen to what this song is alongside with this bumper. And basically the song is, if it feels good, it's alright. And I'm not gonna lie, when this song comes on and we're showing clips from different series, this song really gets you hyped. And I just love that sort of thriller dance near the end with Billy and Mandy. It's one of those bumpers that just makes you feel so good. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about this bumper. That just makes you feel good. And so, let's move on to next one.
Don't close your eyes, 'cause you're only too heavy. Cartoon Network performing 24/7.
What we're gonna do right now is break it down for y'all. Y'all ready? Get ready. Here it comes. There's a place where we hang around the way where we keeps them up 24 a day. We got dogs that are stupid, a mouse are tough, and a super silly rabbit can't get enough. We got a cow who's a cloven. We got more tunes than my man Beethoven.
Don't close your eyes, 'cause you're only too heavy. Cartoon Network performing 24/7. Don't close your eyes, 'cause you're only too heavy. Cartoon Network performing 24/7.
That's the M to the A to the S to the K. That's top tune stars all night and day. You know we're rolling with the Stones and Scooby-Doo. With our Droopy and Daffy and Dexter too. You know we got behavior that's really unstable, running 24 hours, but only on cable.
Don't close your eyes, 'cause you're only too heavy. Cartoon Network performing 24/7. Don't close your eyes, 'cause you're only too heavy. Cartoon Network performing 24/7. Don't close your eyes, 'cause you're only too heavy. Cartoon Network performing 24/7.
Jeez Lou freaking wheeze, I get pumped every single time I listen to this. Okay, basically, this promo was telling us, the viewers, that Cartoon Network is now 24/7, and that's just basically it. Now, a long time ago, Cartoon Network would shut down after a certain time, like around 9 o'clock or something, and you would have to wait until 6 o'clock in the morning in order to watch more cartoons. But this had told us fans of cartoons that now Cartoon Network is 24/7. The only problem is, after when it gets to a certain time in the night, they would show old cartoons like The Tidings, or this cartoon about fruits or something. Yes, Cartoon Network was now 24/7, but that doesn't mean all the cartoons was good. And yeah, I know, no kid is going to be up all night watching cartoons. So yeah, I'll give them that. And what I like about this bumper is how energetic it is. I mean, heck, you can even see the tunes dancing in this bumper, like they're celebrating that you can see cartoons 24/7 now, and they're celebrating it. And I just love the editing when it comes to this bumper. And the music, I mean, come on, absolutely freaking brilliant. And I don't know who's singing that rhyming rap song, but whoever's singing it was just freaking spot on. And when they says, don't close your eyes because you're in tune, Evan, and all the tunes have keep their eyes wide open. So yeah, I know what they're trying to do. I just love the entirety of this bumper. So yeah, that's at number 1. And now, let's make our way to 0.
So tell me again about the 79 countries.
It's like this. Cartoon Network's the same in those countries as it is here, except for little differences.
Example.
Okay. Know what they call pound puppies in Paris?
They don't call them pound puppies.
Nah, they don't have pounds in France. They have the metric system.
Then what do they call them?
They call them Les Puppies Royale.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, what do they call Smurfs in Spain?
Like a Smurf is a Smurf. They just call them Los Smurfs.
Los Smurfs?
Yeah, and in Morocco, Morocco mole is just called mole. Would you look at that?
I can't see over the wheel.
Man, oh man, where do I even begin with this bumper? Okay, first off, I only just found out about this recently, but apparently this bumper with Shaggy and Droopy in the car is actually a parody of Pulp Fiction. I mean, I didn't even realise that until recently, so I know where they got that idea from to make this bumper. And second, this bumper is actually different from the USA bumper. At the end where it shows the Cartoon Network sign, there was this other sign under it saying 100 million people are watching Cartoon Network or something. And of course, we have the main 2 stars of this bumper, and that is Shaggy and Droopy. And listen, I know this was made for a bumper, but you have to admit, like, how would these 2 characters know each other? I mean, yeah, Shaggy has Scooby, which is a talking dog, and Droopy is a talking dog. You have to admit, these 2 are the most random cartoon characters to be together, but saying that, it works. And I also like the music to it as well. Very mellow, very 80s, 90s music, while they're strolling along in their car. And of course, their discussion when they're talking about other countries who also has Cartoon Network. Like, they call certain characters something else, and they call certain titles something else. It's basically telling us we have the same sort of cartoons, but there are slight differences. And you know what? Yes, I can believe that. Because if you were to compare the Dragon Ball Z that we watched on Toonami in the UK, compared to the version that the Americans watched, our versions of Dragon Ball Z was completely different. And then when Shaggy says, yeah, Morocco mole is just called mole, and Droopy's long stare at Shaggy was just perfect. This bumper wasn't the most energetic, it wasn't the funniest, it's just one of those bumpers that's just mellow and trying to be serious but at the same time. It's two cartoon characters talking about Cartoon Network and that cool ass car and that mellow music. This bumper is one of my favourite bumpers from Cartoon Network. I wouldn't say that it's the greatest, but it's definitely up there in a top 10 of the greatest Cartoon Network bumpers. Because if I did find every single bumper from 1993 all the way to 2007, I'm pretty sure that this bumper would be at least in the top 10. Awesome stuff, great stuff. Now, I am going to be making more top lists like this in the future, and it could be bumpers about Toonami or CNX or Boomerang or other Cartoon Network bumpers. So at the very least, you guys will have something to look forward to, because I know for a fact that there are loads of Cartoon Network, Toonami, Boomerang, CNX bumpers out there. So I'm going to try and find them and upload them to YouTube. And if you guys want to help me find them, and you have found them, please let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. So what do you guys think? Am I right or am I wrong? Do you like bumpers? Which bumper from Cartoon Network was your favourite? Please let me know in the comment section below, and let's get a discussion going. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms: Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribestar. It's like Patreon but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.